What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Devil's Details Diecast. Today we have a new car to work on here. It's going to be a custom. This is the Land Rover Series 3 pickup from Hot Wheels. I just picked it up the other day. I'm going to be converting this into more of an Outback or African Safari type vehicle. So obviously bright blue paint and a white roof is not going to work for us here. So that'll get stripped down, maybe some new tires, and definitely a new paint job. Not sure what else I might add to it. I might just keep it as it is. It's pretty cool. Has a little spare tire in the back, and looks pretty fun. So that being said, stay tuned for what we're going to do with the Land Rover Series 3 pickup here on Devil's Details Diecast. Alright, here's the Land Rover 3 after being stripped and polished. Nice and shiny. Still haven't found tires for it yet, but I have some in mind. Just gotta wait till payday, like everything else. But very nice casting, a lot of cool little details in it. And I can't wait to get it painted. Stick around. Alright, welcome back. Done a little bit of pipe work on this truck. I'm turning into a safari truck. I'm hoping to get some kind of canvas to cover the back of this and get that covered, kind of just like a storage truck in the back. My paint came in for it. This is it in primer right now. I'm going to give it a base coat and continue on working, but this is where we're at right now. I just did this out of aluminum rod. It's not perfect, but again, nothing's perfect, and if this is a beat-up safari truck, then I would assume that this would have taken a beating over time. So in any event, it's all glued in there, all ready to rock. I'm going to hit it with some base coat. Alright, here's a little update we have on the safari truck. Got all the decals done. I think they came out excellent. Very excited that the decal process, for me at least, is getting a little easier. What I did was hit it with a dark brown wash just to kind of get some faded color looking on it. And I had some rusting powders that I kind of just caked on the tires and then hit with some dull coat just to kind of simulate the African terrain, kind of getting in the wheels. I am going to be working on a canvas for this back. A lot of guys in the railroading and model military models use a procedure with tissue paper and watered down glue. So I'm going to try to mimic that process here. I don't know how it's going to work. I hope I don't ruin the model, but we're going to give it a try. Alright, so they say you want to get your consistency to kind of the consistency of milk. So that's what I've done here. This is just regular white glue. I actually probably need a little more glue because that looks a little thin. So I'm just gonna, you can use PVA glue, any kind of standard scenery glue, I guess, if you have it. I just had this cheap white glue handy. It works just as good. So we get this all mixed up here. That looks better. Kind of like a milky substance. And then you have your regular old tissue here. Not toilet tissue and not napkins, but regular, you know, booger tissue, for lack of a better term. And then what you want to do is just kind of cut out your piece. Of course, everything can be trimmed, so don't worry that it's a little bit too big. It's better bigger than too small. At least that's what they tell me. So what I'm doing here is just applying that water and glue mixture with a paintbrush, if that wasn't obvious to you. and then gotta let this dry overnight, and then it can actually be painted because the glue makes it nice and stiff, and it'll start to look like actual canvas. At least that's in theory. What I'm actually going to do is trim some of that back off because I don't want it to stick to the car and then have it pull, paint off or any kind of finish. I probably should have did that prior to getting it all full of glue and water, because it is very hard to cut. But again, you can kind of tuck it in where it won't really be seen. Again, most safari trucks may not have a covered back, but I felt that I wanted to do that with this one. Kind of looks a little stuffed in there. So try to get that out a little bit. Of course, you don't want to hide your decals either. And you can use your spares to actually clean up any excess glue that you get on the side. It's my first time trying this for this type of model. Unfortunately, that little rip, there we go. Just trying to cover up the back here. I'm assuming once this dries, I can pull it down a little bit more. I'm trying to set it as good as I can because I'm not sure how pliable it's going to be after it dries. Unfortunately, I won't be able to tell that until tomorrow. But any event, that's how you do that. So we're going to check in with this tomorrow, and hopefully overnight it dries nicely, and we'll get a nice canvas looking cover for that back. I'll call this one a wrap. If you remember, this is what we started out with. Hot Wheels Land Rover Series 3 pickup in this sky blue color with the white roof. Very nice cast, got a winch on the front, etc. And here's what we ended up with. This is the Hot Wheels Land Rover 3 pickup truck converted into a safari truck. The Kleenex worked excellent. This thing is pretty much hard as a rock. It's almost like plaster of Paris. Of course, it's not going to come off unless you really had to rip it off or whatever. But in any event, it's got the decals. It's got the custom paint job. It's got a lot of weathering. As you can see, most of these trucks spend all day out in the Sahara. So I kind of went with that. I'm sure they don't wash them that often over there, but yeah, little winch on the front there. Really happy with this, how this turned out. Stay tuned. Short episode of the Devil's Lair. Check in on the garage process. Thanks. Alright, welcome to a special episode of The Devil's Lair. This is where I update on my little garage diorama that I'm working on. We'll take this little spy truck out of here. That's a little project I'm working on as well. But started working on the paneling this evening. Of course, got to trim up the edges a little bit. But I kind of ran out of sticks and patience. Of course, this is all going to get weathered and muddied and dirtied up as we go, but I wanted to give you an inside look. So it's going to resemble an old barn with the with all the slats and everything. Still haven't decided what I'm going to do with the floor. I'm going to try to see if I can do a cement look on the floor. And of course we'll probably have all kinds of old signs on the wood on the side, a couple windows on this side here. So just wanted to give you a quick update. I don't work on this that often, just when I catch up on some of my cars and letting paint dry and everything. That's my son's Spider-Man hot rod. I think it looks pretty cool in there. In any event, that's the update. Stay tuned for more. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.